Okay.
Now what?
Now we're going to do what we did before this, only this time you're going to actually talk.
Okay, what? Do you have an idea of what things you might want me to say?
I don't. I just want you to just say them.
Okay.
All right, we've got a question for you. What do you do when absolutely all of your plans get canceled? Maybe because of, like, I don't know, a worldwide pandemic?
If you're us, you wing it and maybe find some unexpected fun along the way.
Yeah, and today we're going to share with you exactly what we did this summer to keep the fun alive during the COVID-19 craziness. That's right, like most of you, our summer plans were canceled / ruined. We, for the very first time in our lives, had everything planned out. We knew exactly where we were going, what we were doing. I'd made a spreadsheet and been made fun of in the house for having things like distance between campsites and all this stuff planned out. And then COVID hit and all of it got canceled. I mean, like every single bit of our plans got canceled. So we kind of just had to sit around the house and ask ourselves, what do we do, right?
Right. So ultimately, we decided to take a road trip to Ohio to visit with family for a while, and we ended up staying there for a whole month.
Yeah, well, we were doing some updates to the rig, too. See, we've got this new to us Class A Winnebago, so we were trying to not only learn about it, but try to make sure that it was roadworthy. And so I like to say my secret garage is in Ohio with my dad, who knows so much more about the mechanics of vehicles than me and all the tools. And so we said, hey, let's go there. Let's tweak this thing out. And which, by the way, we're going to share that video with you next week of me videoing him doing some really cool things to the RV that actually made our travels a lot more enjoyable. And if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you come back for all of that stuff. But today what we're going to do is just kind of share with you what we were able to do in the 3 months of summer when everything is gorgeous and beautiful and everybody's supposed to be outside, while everything was closed and shut down. Because many RV families have found themselves in a tough spot this year, knowing that like campsites have closed, attractions have closed, things have just not been normal. What we ended up doing was actually exploring a part of the country that we had never seen before, even though we used to live right next to it. Growing up in the Midwest, both of us growing up in Ohio, we'd never gone up through Michigan, through the Upper Peninsula. We'd never seen the tippy top of the states close to Canada, and we thought, what better place to get lost? What better place to see some wonderful nature? What better place to spend time alone in the woods than the Upper Peninsula of Michigan?
One of our favorite things about Michigan was all the water. The Great Lakes, and every trail we went on had waterfalls and streams and tons of lakes.
This is what it's like to hike with my crew. And actually, one of the things that we were most excited about seeing in Michigan was getting up near Mackinac Island and crossing over from, I think, what they would call mainland Michigan over into the Upper Peninsula. There's a giant bridge called Mackinac Bridge.
It's actually 5 miles long.
It's ridiculous. And if you're driving a huge Class A for the first summer ever across it, you'll be white knuckling. Now, it wasn't that bad, but there was some construction, so it was very tight. But it was so incredibly beautiful and amazing, and we just kind of spent the whole first night in the Upper Peninsula staring at that bridge, looking off into the lake, and just kind of setting ourselves up for what would be the rest of the summer of just ending every night with water.
Right.
Maxwell, where are we?
We're at the sea.
At the sea, close. We're at a lake, Great Lake.
In northern Michigan.
And we are right now, what are we next to? Superpower Jet Hydro Ferry. Look at the big rooster tail that comes off this thing. Wave to him. So one of the things we were looking most forward to in that area was going over to Mackinac Island, because it's just like this beautiful, idyllic place. There's no cars, there's no technology, there's people, but there's just a lot of bikes. And the ferry situation was just kind of, it was hairy. It was a hairy ferry. It was hairy because there was a lot of people on every ferry that we saw, and even though they say they were distanced out, it looked pretty cram-packed.
It was just a really busy time of year, I think, that we were there.
The most popular time to be there. And so we decided not to go, but we made it up to ourselves by eating lots and lots of fudge. There was so much fudge there.
Mackinac fudge.
Mackinac fudge. And pasties. Not pasties, pasties. I was not able to partake, but the children did partake, and the results were mixed.
The reviews were mixed.
Pasties.
Pasties. Gravy. That's a lot of gravy. You probably don't need any more. What's it like in there? Is it good?
I'm gonna eat the outside.
No.
No, not like.
Just take a big bite.
Outside, but I'm just saying. Maybe I'll try the outside first. Maybe.
I don't know. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. This is a beef pasty. Maxwell, pasty review. How was it?
Delicious!
So good? Cooper, pasty review. Would you take it over pizza?
No, but that's me saying me only taking it one time, and this was a lunch one. The dessert pasty would probably be over pizza, but this pasty, I would not put it over pizza.
But it was good still, or no?
It was still really good.
Yeah, I thought mine was really good.
I would take it over a sandwich.
You put a lot of gravy on that, Maxwell.
Like a big I know.
Fooding with Reed, what is the evaluation of a pasty?
It's terrible.
You didn't enjoy the pasty?
No.
Reed, I need to get a follow-up from you about pasties.
Oh, no.
Why did you not like pasties?
I don't know. It kind of felt like it was a barf chicken pot pie.
Reed, I mean, yeah.
It's just...
But I mean, what would you expect from like basically a historic Hot Pocket? I mean, that's what I would call it. It's just a Hot Pocket that's been around for a long time, and it's a part of culture. Do they make pasties for dogs? Yeah. I'm sure they were better than Hot Pockets, and if you're from Michigan, I apologize for dissing the pasty, but I didn't get to taste it, so I don't really know how good or not good it is. But it was definitely a part of the culture, and that's one thing that I think we have learned about when you're doing things unplanned. When you don't have a plan, is just simply throw yourself into an area, a region, and partake in the culture. If everybody puts lobsters on their head and dances on the beach, then you should probably do that.
So one of the hidden gems in wandering around the Upper Peninsula of Michigan was a natural spring called Kitchitikipi.
Kitchitikipi?
But it's this small little, I think it's a state park. You just walk down a short path. It doesn't look like much from there, but you get in a wooden raft boat.
It's kind of like a gazebo hooked to a wire.
And someone turns a wheel and it wheels you out into the middle of this pond. But when you look down into the water's crystal clear. It's turquoise blue. You can see all the way to the bottom, and there's a natural spring shooting up,
bubbling at the bottom.
Huge fish, and the raft at the bottom. It's open.
It has to be the most overlooked thing in all of the, like I would have driven 2 hours to get to see that had I known it was there. We had no idea, really cool. And it was pretty close to where we were camping, and so we just said, let's go see it. And that's the cool thing, is that sometimes you wander into things that you didn't know were there.
When we left the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we went over into northern Wisconsin with the goal of going to Apostle Islands.
The only way to get there was on a tour boat. Just me and our oldest son Reed went, and it was fantastic. By far the highlight of everything. I shouldn't say that in front of you, because she didn't get to see it in the flesh.
We all did take our vehicle on a ferry across to Madeline Island to explore for the day. So the little boys, that was enough for them. And
it had some beautiful views. There were places you could dive off into the water. And I wish I had a video of me diving off into the water. In fact, I lamented through the entire hike that we were taking that I wasn't jumping into the water and doing like the...
You should have just done it.
I should have done it. I just wasn't prepared. I was wearing regular clothes and didn't have any way to do it. But let this be a lesson to you.
YOLO.
Take the adventure when it comes your way. That's a regret. I'm going back to Madeline Island to jump off those cliffs soon. One day, we'll be back.
I think, too, that our boys almost enjoyed more the things that we didn't plan. Maybe because there wasn't like an expectation that we had to have fun or this was going to be great. We just would stumble upon something really cool and have a great day of it.
And we ate a lot of ice cream.
Lots of sugar.
Okay, so I'm sitting here editing the video realizing that we didn't talk at all about Theodore Roosevelt National Park or Badlands National Park, which we did go to and which we did enjoy. They were both about one-day parks, and we saw a lot of cool wildlife. So here's some of that footage with a little bit of intro. We just got too excited about everything else to even talk about it in our monologue. So roll it.
Hey Cooper, what are you doing over there? Hey Cooper, what are you doing over there? What's he doing?
Eating.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice, bro.
we actually did make our way over to North Dakota, South Dakota. We got to see all the normal stuff, and one thing that we just could not have done without was the Black Hills of South Dakota. It was
gorgeous.
By far the coolest thing, maybe a tie for the coolest thing we saw all summer. We knew we wanted to go there, but the surprise was...
Surprise.
Custer State Park.
The surprise was Custer State Park.
You're there to see Mount...
Surprise?
Well, it was a surprise to us. You're there to see Mount Rushmore. You're there to see the national park. You know, you don't think that the state park is the coolest thing there, and it absolutely was.
There's a ton of wildlife, so there it's a gigantic herd of buffalo. We also did the Needles Highway drive through the tunnels, the rock formations. It was really, really super cool.
Sylvan Lake, looking out over the Black Hills and then driving down on the way out. It was just magical, as they say.
Right.
Tree stalagmite.
That is hollow.
Hey, good job on the memory. Stalagmite comes up from the bottom. How do we remember that?
Well, I learned that from Mammoth Cave, bro.
Well, how do we remember it, though?
Stalagmite is trip you.
Might trip you.
Might trip you, and then stalactite is holding tight onto the stone.
There you go.
Guys, no way out. I just remember that.
There's no way out in a spooky trail?
So that was our entire summer. That's what we did. That's why we did it. And we wanted to share that with you because we don't want you to think that being a travel family, travel vloggers, that it's perfect, that it's always planned out and it always goes according to plan. It rarely goes according to plan. And in fact, when it comes to us, we rarely have a plan.
We planned to be out for about 1 month, and we were out for 3 months.
And we always stay out longer. We always try to come home and have a season where we're with our people in our city, in our home, and then we're longing to be out on the road. And when we're on the road, sometimes we're wanting to be home. But yeah, it's never perfect.
But it's all good.
It's all good, and you can't plan everything. So don't always try to. Maybe this is my advice. Don't plan everything.
I don't plan anything.
We say, let it happen.
Was that the end right there, what you said?
That wasn't it.
No,
Is that all of it?
Do we have to wrap up?
We definitely need to wrap up. This is it.
Okay.
This is the end. And we're just glad you guys have come along for the journey. This is a really exciting new thing for us. If you're already watching these videos to the end, maybe that means that you'll want to subscribe to this channel because we've got some really, really fun things to share with you every Saturday. I plan on sharing some gear and some tips on Wednesdays, but Saturday is going to be devoted to kind of our travel life, what it's like to be out on the road with a family in an RV and a little tiny dog. What it's like to be off the road and thinking about the road, all of these things. So if you care for this unique perspective, if you're interested in living this life, or if you too are out there, we would love to meet you. So leave us a comment down below. Let us know where you're at, what you're doing. And if you like the video, maybe throw us a thumbs up.
We're glad you guys are here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys again next Saturday.
That's right. See you then.
Mississippi.